Ready.
How do you how do you want to
You don't even know
intro
how to
this?
start?
No, it's okay. If we mess up on this, we could just cut out the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit. What's up, y'all? Welcome to our very first official episode of Catching Up, the podcast between me,
Woo!
Jen, and one of my best friends, Nethra.
Hi,
Woo!
guys.
Damn, girl, how do you want to intro this? Should we just jump straight into it or?
We should. We have been planning on doing this for, I want to say, like over a year at this point.
I think so too, yeah.
Is that accurate? Do you remember like when we first came up with the idea of like, let's start a podcast?
Not exactly, because I feel like just within the past couple of years, we've had a lot of conversations relating to, oh, like I want to be like a content creator kind of thing and different ideas and shit that we have for it. But I don't remember the exact moment when we were like, oh, you know what? The both of us should like start a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I remember in like 2020, I want to say, like you, me, and Bora were like, maybe we can do a talk show one day. And I think the talk show eventually evolved into podcast. So I don't know where it came from, but
Sounds
I'm
about
grateful
right.
we're here. Yeah, grateful to be here.
Oh man, first episode. We're finally doing it, girl.
I can't believe this day is here, if I'm being honest. I feel like there was like a 6, 7 month period where we were like, oh yeah, let's start like next month. And then we were like, oh, we'll start when the summer ends, or like we'll start when work gets a
Oh,
little
that
easier.
is for everyone listening at home. We're filming this like end of January 2023. And we're like, oh, look, new year. Now, no excuses. No more excuses to put off the podcast. This has got to happen because pretty much like, you know, a good half at least or most of 2022, we just kept, oh, yeah, let's do it during the summer. And then the summer came and the summer went. And we went, oh, we haven't started yet.
Yeah,
Then it got pushed to let's do like Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then we went, you know what, let's be realistic. We're probably not going to do this shit over the holidays. Sorry about that, guys. We just ran into some technical difficulties where
you know
Zoom
how it
decided to
be.
just cut everybody's sound. But
Technology's been against us, girl. First the
it really
Google
has.
Doxy.
It really has. At least maybe this is something we can look back on when we, get famous or whatever off of this shit.
NBD,
We'll be
yeah.
like, Nathan, do you remember our very first podcast episode where Zoom decided to just break?
And remember the week before that when like Google locked us out of our account? No big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, like I was saying, yeah, most of 2022 we had plans of, maybe starting the podcast and we just kept putting it off until the holidays came around and we just went, you know what? Realistically, let's just keep putting it off until 2023 and get serious about this shit. And now here we are. So
I'm really proud of us.
me too, girl. This is to anybody out there who's thinking about doing content creating, just do it. Give it a
Just do
try.
it.
Get over your fear of, looking stupid and all that shit. All this stuff is a craft. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes guts. Yeah.
That was really beautiful, Jen. I feel like I was getting
Thanks,
inspired just
Sarah.
listening to you.
Really? Thank you. Thank you. You're too kind.
Of
All right.
course.
So we kind of made like a list of things that we wanted to touch on this episode. So the first topic we have is talking about
Wait.
our start. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not to cut you off, but I wanted to mention one other thing
Yes.
before
Go
we
ahead.
wait, what was the first topic you were gonna say?
Um talking about our start of our content creating era.
Okay, yeah, before that, there was
Okay, Ben, go ahead. Go ahead.
one quick thing I wanted to add. Okay, so we kind of addressed like the fact that we were being like wishy-washy on when to start the podcast, but we didn't actually like reveal the reason for us starting the podcast. And
Mm,
that is just because like Jen and I have been friends since high school. And
yeah.
like we honestly got like really close once high school ended, like when we were in college. And I just feel like I have like this really, really special conversational chemistry with you. And it's very rare. There are like some people that you get along with really well, but there are not very many people that I can sustain a conversation like this with Hopefully you agree,
Agreed. Yeah,
because I
no, I
want to
do.
feel
I just
special
didn't wanna
too.
cut you off, but no, I agree wholeheartedly. We've made jokes about how, like, if we ever, like, live together, we'd
Yeah.
probably just, like, die from exhaustion because, like, Nathan and I, we could just go talking and talking for, like,
On
hours
and
on end.
on.
Like, literally, I'm pretty sure the only reason why most of the time we just had to put an end to our conversation is either because
Just
we
because
had
we
work
were
in the
sleepy.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
sleepy, we're tired, we got work in the morning, that kinda thing. But honestly, if we just had like a day to just sit and talk, like I would be very interested to see how long that shit would fucking last.
We would get so tired, but
We
it
would.
would
We'd
be
just pass
great.
out from exhaustion.
I know, dude, if we were married, like, our kids would be neglected, like, every
Stop. Not the
jobs we wouldn't show up to, I don't know.
jobs wouldn't show up too. Yeah, they had to call CPS on us. They'd be like, why haven't you
Yeah.
fed your child? And we just had to be like, we're having a great conversation. Can you not interrupt us?
The
Like,
vibes were immaculate, what do you mean?
excuse
Yeah.
you. Like,
Yes. But yeah, I feel like, I just knew that you would be a great person to start a podcast with, because you want someone that you can, like, talk to for long periods of time,
mhm.
that you have a lot in common with, and you're kind of on the same page with in terms of a lot of different things, so it's just yeah, I feel like we naturally click, knock on wood, and, uh, it's been a
Yeah,
great
no, no,
5
I
years.
agree. I was gonna add on to that, you know, like, there's always those tweets that I see of people joking around of like, "Oh, like, you have one deep conversation with your friend," and bitches be like, "Oh my god, let's start a podcast."
Oh,
But
no, is that us?
no, 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 that's not us at all. I think,
Okay.
like, for us, like, our conversations are amazing. We always just consistently, like, bounce from topic to topic off of each other, and
Yeah.
not to mention that, like, I don't know, I feel like because of our conversational chemistry, a podcast was something that I felt like was actually sustainable, like
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't
because
wanna be doing this with someone that you feel like you have to put more effort into the conversation. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you have to start thinking of questions in the back of your head, and they're being kinda
exactly.
dry, like, you don't wanna
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. With this, it was like, "No, I think Nathan and I could have a podcast and we could actually sustain that shit as far as, like, conversational stuff," and I feel like it would just come easy to us.
I feel the same way. Do you wanna explain the name a little bit?
Yes. So, I think this came about when we were just randomly thinking, "Oh, what should we name it?" And I don't
You named
remember.
it.
Oh, I named it?
It was
Oh.
definitely you.
Oh, okay, well, damn, how did I even come I don't know how I got this name. But I was just like, let's just call it catching up because, we fucking FaceTime each other every week to catch up and we could probably have similar conversations on the podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's stuck. Like it's short, it's cute. I like it. You like
I
it.
love it. And
Mhm.
we're manifesting that if we ever get sponsored one day, we can have our, promo code be catch. So
Exactly. Yes.
we can be
Just
like
just wait for it, guys. Just imagine
exactly,
like a
manifest
year and
it.
a half from now, we just go, and now a word from our sponsors. Do you like listening to audiobooks? Well, so do I. Get
Use catch.
10% off from fucking what's that website? Audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, get 10% off your first order from Audible using code CATCH. That's CATCH, catch.
Oh, I can't wait.
And I
Oh,
can't wait
man.
either. Oh man. Okay. So
Sorry, I totally
no, no,
cut
no,
you
it's
off
okay.
before
This is
you
what I'm talking about. Guys, you see this conversational chemistry that we have? Like, this is what I'm talking about.
get ready for a
Um,
lot of this.
First topic. Okay. Talking about our start of our content creating era.
I feel like you just have to go first because 'cause you've been putting in the work for, like, a year and a half now, and
Okay.
yeah, it
Sounds
just has
good.
to be you.
All right. So, damn, I'm trying to think how far back I actually want to go. Let me just do like the shorter story. So, I started content creating probably like May 2021, I think. It was very like I'm not gonna say slow, but I just wasn't super consistent. It was just something I wanted to try out at the time. At first, it was just me streaming on Twitch, and then from there, I would try to take some like cool clips or good games on Twitch and edit them and post them on YouTube. And I started posting clips on TikTok. I don't think I got super consistent with it until 2022. That was kind of like my New Year's resolution, I think. And from then on, I was really consistent with it. I streamed, I think, once a week. Um, Started posting YouTube videos a little more, and here I am. Now I got a podcast with my bestie. What more could you ask for?
Aw, but you gotta flex a little bit more. She has, like, followers on Twitch that, like, genuinely engage with her streams. Like, there's this
Oh, I
one dude
mean,
that's like
yeah, a little bit.
yeah, and one of them was like, "If you ever do, like, a would you ever stream with your followers one day?" Like, a community type thing, and people are
Mhm.
invested, and, like, you get tons of views on TikTok, and your YouTube is growing, so I'm really proud 'cause
Thanks, girl.
I've seen it from the start, and you really do, like, grind nonstop, like,
I do. I'm a
music
workaholic,
free
everybody.
no, but look at how it's working for you, and I don't know, I feel like so many times when I text you and I'm like, "Hey girl, like, what are you up to?" And you're like, "Oh, no big deal, just got done with work, have to edit this, have to post this, have to stream
I
this."
do say
I'm
that
like,
shit.
"Man." And this is, like, just, I don't know, staple Jennifer, like, vocabulary when I'm texting you.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. Oh man. But yeah, it's been great so far. I can't wait to see how far this journey takes me. And now let's talk about you, Nethra. You started posting on YouTube late 2022, I think.
Yes,
You got a couple
yes.
videos
So,
up. So
I
proud of
have
you, girl.
aw, I have the opposite work ethic of Jen, unfortunately, because, it took me a year to edit my first YouTube video, even though it's not even a long video or like a visually intricate video or anything like that. I'm
Hey
just,
girl,
like,
slow and
super
steady wins the
slow
race.
and steady is a very graceful way of putting it, but laziness is the more
I
accurate
mean, I
way.
guess you could use that too.
Yeah. So, I I don't know, I think I love the idea of posting on YouTube for a really long time. It seemed like something super cool, but I was never able to really figure out what my niche would be.
Mhm.
Like, my parents were always, like, super supportive of it too. They're like, "If you wanna like, why aren't you doing something like this? This seems super cool, and you're, like, a creative, outspoken person. Wouldn't you love something like this?" And I was always like, "Yeah, but I don't know. I wanna do something I don't wanna do the same thing that, like, most people do when they're on there, like, something beauty tutorial related, or I don't know. I don't know what would be expected from a person like me, but I wanted to figure that out on my own first, like, what would excite me and be interesting. And I feel like you always knew that. Like you said, you had the dream of being like a content creator, like from middle school. You wanted to do gaming, right? Am I?
True. Yeah, no, that's right. I remember
In
in middle
fact,
school seeing like YouTubers just game and stuff and realizing they can make money off of it. I was like, wait, I low key want to try something like this.
I think your YouTube bio is just fulfilling my like middle
Yeah, yeah.
school, yeah, something like that. Middle school
Trying to live
dreams.
out my middle school dreams. Welcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
but yeah, I have not been creating content for nearly as long as Jen has. Yeah, so I've posted like 4 videos right now, which is very small compared to Jen's,
It's okay, girl.
catalog.
It's okay. But nah, like it's damn, I was gonna say like just take your time with it, just
I
you'll
appreciate
you'll
that.
figure out what you want to do and what need, or if you even want to be a part of a niche as far as like content creating and shit.
Right. And also, no one really prepares you for how much work it takes. Like, editing takes
Yeah,
so much time, and, like,
yeah,
trying to come up with, like, a catchy title takes a lot of time, and
yeah,
I don't know,
clickbaity
you
titles.
yeah, exactly, and I don't know, I feel like when you're not a content creator and you're just consuming content, you don't like, necessarily understand how much of a grind it can be. Like, I've always watched videos that got, like, a ton of hits before, and you don't really think about, like, what they would have had to go through to, like, reach that number of, like, views or subscribers. Like, it's a long arduous journey, but, because
Mhm.
like, my videos are, like it's straight like, Jen is, like, my only viewer, so I
What?
don't get any
No.
yes, so, um, yeah, I feel like I don't know, like, this is something I've asked you before for sure, but do you have any goals in terms of, like, what number you wanna hit in terms of subscribers or, like, how far you wanna
um,
get with this? Or are you even
as far as
thinking
like
of, like
numbers and shit, right now, no. I
okay,
feel like as long as I just, build like a nice little community and stuff
Yeah,
that's, filled with cool, respectful people. That's all I really need. Like, just a few
right.
active chatters in my Twitch live streams would be nice. That's really it. I think if you were to ask me this when I was in like fucking middle school or high school, I would have been like, oh, I don't want to say like the most famous, but it would be cool to be like recognized and shit when I'm out in public and to be able to go to
Yeah,
uh like
the
VidCons and
streamies.
yeah, the streamies, shit like that. But I feel like
Yeah,
as I've gotten older and seeing like the YouTubers that I grew up with coming out saying like, oh, like I'm super burnt out, like, like I really need a break from this shit, it kind of gives me peace of mind. And I really want to stray away from like the whole being famous kind of thing. And even
yeah,
just being able to do the content creator thing as like a full-time job, I don't even think I necessarily want that. It's just kind
right.
of, you know, like, yeah, I know like I'm a dedicated person and I do want to kind of just keep this as like a part-time thing. And it's
Mhm.
cool to make some money off of it, but I don't know. The day I just if I ever decide that I want to do this full time, it would have to require some serious thought and consideration.
For sure.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, no, you bring up a really good point because, like, I think I'm pretty sure I told you this, but I read somewhere, like, I wanna say maybe 6 months to a year ago that Glozell, like, went bankrupt or something like
Oh,
that,
okay. Yeah,
and
yeah.
she was, like, one of the biggest YouTube stars, so it kind of just was, like, a reality check for me in terms of you're not relevant on the internet forever, and, like, when your job is putting content online, relevancy is what will, like, I don't know, take care of rent for you and, like,
Yeah.
help pay bills. So the idea of that, of, like, people going from loving you to just not really caring anymore is kind of scary, especially when it like, when it's related to, like, you getting your monthly paycheck. So
Yeah.
I think we're both really privileged in that, we have full-time jobs now,
Yeah.
corporate baddies or whatever, so
Woo,
we
corporate
don't have to
baddie.
yeah, we don't have to rely on this as like a source of income or like really hope it pops off so that, uh, one day we have a career in this or anything.
Mhm.
So I'm on the same page. I think I like being able to do it in my own time. And, the fact that it's not a full-time job takes off the pressure of like, oh, you have to hit these deadlines. So you have to put out something whether you love it or not. And,
Right. You gotta
you
like
know what I
get
mean?
this many views and shit like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I like that there's that room for flexibility, and yeah, I don't know, I just don't ever wanna develop a toxic relationship with something I really like doing, and I
Yeah.
think a good way to prevent that from happening is just doing it in moderation, I guess? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'd say so. That and for me personally, when I first started this shit, I like for my social media accounts that I have like tied to, my YouTube and all that shit, I just turned off notifications because I didn't want
Damn,
to.
really?
Yeah. Only because, like, I mean, obviously, when you're small and growing, like, of course you want to interact and engage with every single, like, comment, whatever. But I just felt like I didn't want to be so glued to that. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, like I will interact with comments and stuff like that when it comes to, notifications that I get on my YouTube channels or other social media. But I didn't want to be so locked into that shit to where like I'm constantly like, oh, like, has
right.
this gotten any engagement yet? Like, do I have a
No, I
single
feel
like? This has
you.
been up for like an hour and yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'm the same. Like maybe the first 2 days of me launching my YouTube channel, I was probably checking to see if it was gonna go anywhere because you don't know. Like when you first
Right.
like put
Right.
out a video, you think, oh, the algorithm is gonna like do wonders for me and this is just gonna blow up overnight or something like that. The
Yeah.
truth is it will
The
not go
algorithm's like,
anywhere
bitch, who
unless
are
you
you?
send yeah. The truth is your video is not gonna go anywhere unless you send it somewhere. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think after you kind of put out that first video and you realize how it goes, yeah, I would kind of was like, if something happens, great. If not, fine." But,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's kind of how we're approaching this podcast too. Like, this is purely for fun,
Yeah.
and we're doing something that we've dreamed of doing for a long time. And again, like, this isn't, we're not looking at this as like a one-stop shop to success or money or fame or anything like that. We're just doing it because we love each other's company and we
Exactly.
just
We get personal fulfillment from doing shit
yeah.
outside of our careers, which is very nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, shit, who knows? Maybe this shit will blow up and we can stop being corporate baddies. Maybe, maybe.
You know what else I think is great about the fact that we just had this conversation? I
Mm,
feel like I see so many TikTok videos or like YouTube videos about like how to become a social media creator. And I think most people creating that approach it from the angle of like, oh, do you want this to become your full-time job? And I haven't really seen too many people talk about like, oh, just what if you try this part-time or like as a hobby? So
yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? I just
I
feel
know what
like
you're talking about. I haven't, like, seen it on, like, my own, like, feed and stuff, but I know what you're talking about. I feel like it's because most of the time people are just wanting to do something more outside of whatever they have going on, whether it's, like, school or work, and so I guess they kind of do their own content creating shit to, I guess, escape from the
or
actual
yeah.
reality and stuff. So I feel like that's why most of the time there's not anybody out there that's just trying to do this shit for fun or just
Yeah.
trying to do this shit part-time and stuff. I mean, there's probably a couple people out there who did start this shit for fun, and then once they realize its potential, they're like, "Yeah, fuck my 9 to 5. Let's just go straight into making YouTube videos."
Right. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting way to look at it. I also just kind of saw it as a reflection of hustle culture. It's like, oh,
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
just out here trying to like
Yeah.
chase
That's
the
another way
bag,
to look at it.
capitalize on as much as they can. But
Yeah.
no, you're right. That makes sense. Also, yeah, when you're working 9 to 5, it's kind of hard to like make this anything more than a part-time job or a hobby because you only
Yeah,
have
there's
so
just
many
no
free
time.
hours in a
Yeah.
day. Yeah. So it's really hard to like edit something good quality, film something that you like. For
Mhm,
you, I know, like, I don't know, because well, this is just like an assumption on my side, but I would think that if you're making gaming content, you would think that your most interesting videos are probably ones where you have really crazy wins or
mhm.
something like that.
Yeah,
And you can't always predict whether you're gonna win or lose. So like,
that's true. That's true.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just you're kind of rolling the dice each time, and
Yeah,
but that's fun and it's exciting in its own way. I don't even know where I'm
it
going
is.
with this point.
No, it's okay, girl. We can move on to the next thing if you
Yes,
want.
please.
Our decision to start this podcast. I mean, I think we already touched on
Yeah.
this in the beginning. Yeah,
Oh,
so
damn,
we'll
we had it in the list?
yeah,
Sorry, I cut
we
you
did.
off.
It's okay, girl, it's
Yeah.
okay. Story behind our profile picture. Would you like to start us off with
Oh,
that,
man.
Nithra?
Once I cough. Okay. So there's this show on Netflix called Never Have I Ever. Hopefully you guys have heard of it because it's pretty popular. But I want to say it launched in 2020, and I don't think Jen watched it until like 2021. Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
I think so.
Okay. But I watched it the day it came out because I was like, oh my God, a South Asian coming of age story with an Indian American lead who's also like Tamil, just like me, written by Mindy Kaling. I know a lot of people are like, kind of hating on Mindy Kaling right now, but she's
Yeah, but
still,
we're just gonna not talk about that for a second.
yeah, but she's still like making strides in terms of like this kind of representation, which is really awesome. And yeah, I love Never Have I Ever so much. Like I know Davy has her fair share of problems and stuff, but my college thesis, my senior thesis when I graduated college was about the show, so I really love it. And Jen hopped on the
I like it
bandwagon,
too.
yeah, a year later, and she really liked it. And the our profile picture is okay. You take this part.
So our profile picture, it's a picture of Davy and Eleanor, and Nathan and I just have like these inside jokes about we'll send like memes of Davy and Eleanor to each other, and we'll just be like, "Oh my god, us."
For context, Devi is Indian, like she's Tamil just like me, and Eleanor is Asian. I don't know like
I don't know
specifically.
what specifically she is in the
Yeah,
show,
but
but
she's
it's
Asian.
it's a close enough representation
Yeah,
for me, I
exactly. So we're like, is this
guess.
us? An Asian and an Indian? So yeah, we've just like sent each other memes for like hours on end, just being like,
Exactly, like dead ass. We'll just apply it
let's
to any life situation. Like, uh,
there's
I'm
like
just like,
screenshots.
girl, I'm having such
Yeah,
a rough week at work. Like, this is literally me. And I'll send a meme of Eleanor just distressed
like
in
crying
a
or
chair. Yeah,
something.
crying pretty much.
Yeah. And then I'll send like a video of, or not a video, a picture of Davy hugging Eleanor, and I'll be like, "Hope you feel better, girl." Just
Yeah, it's
really,
hilarious. Oh my God. I
even
love
now,
it.
I logged on to this Zoom call as Davy.
Yes. I mean, you guys can't see it, but yes, she sure
Please
did.
don't
And I
come to
was
us.
just cracking the fuck up. I was like, Davy. Oh
Oh,
man. I think oh, that was pretty much our no, the last one is just like my thoughts on the original Pretty Little Liars and New Gossip Girl. So if you guys don't know, Nethra watched both the original Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars like, years ago, and she put me on to both. I fucking loved the original Gossip Girl. I
I
like
would have
Pretty
never
Little Liars
guessed.
too,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I like Gossip Girl more. I feel like with Pretty Little Liars, that shit is a little drawn out, just a little bit. The whole A plot and all that shit. But currently, I haven't started the last season of Pretty Little Liars yet, but I just have season 7 left. So after that,
She's almost
um,
done.
yeah, I'll be done. We can have an entire podcast episode dedicated to that. And I know the new Pretty Little Liars Original Sin is out. Nathan and I have also been watching that together. And I'm not gonna lie, like, even though we haven't finished the new one yet, and I haven't finished the old one, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you do a fucking reboot. Like,
Period. Like, it's
they
darker, it's
killed that
grittier, it's
shit. Like,
scarier.
it's
Yeah.
it's good, and yeah, like it relates to the old one, but it's different. It's new. Like, this is storytelling done right.
Right. I feel like this is what Riverdale wanted to be for Archie.
Sorry about that, guys. We had another technical difficulty where Zoom decided to just cut the sound out from both ends. Not sure why. I mean, I filmed podcasts and shit from here before, so I don't know. Zoom must not want us to win. They know if if we can film this, we'll be super successful or some shit.
I
Zoom's just
know.
preying on our downfall, girl. I don't know what to tell you.
Zoom, exactly. There goes the sponsorship deal we
From Zoom.
never had. Oh.
But yes, anyways, continuing to our conversation. You said
Yeah, I
Pretty
was saying
Little
that
Liars
this is
reboot is
what Riverdale wanted to be, but is so far from, just because like this show, like the new Pretty Little Liars, is so like dark and gritty and edgy and scary. And like
yes.
the original Pretty Little Liars is also thrilling in its own way, but this is just such a perfect reboot in that it amplifies
Yes.
the the horror element of it, I
Mhm.
guess. And like I have moments where I legitimately have to mute the volume and like cover my hand on the screen because like the A in this season is so scary. Like A
A
before,
is real bold in this fucking
yeah,
show. Oh my god.
A
Okay,
is scary
just a
looking
little
and
spoiler
scary.
alert for anyone who I'm gonna reference maybe like the last episode we had seen. One of the girls, Noah, A came to that bitch's apartment and like chased her with like a fucking I don't know if there's a weapon or not, but anyways, it's scary. I mean being chased by someone in a mask. But yeah, no, that shit was fucking terrifying. I was
Really,
like,
really scary.
oh shit. And this is only the first season too. Like in the original Pretty Little Liars, A was not doing that shit. It
Yeah,
was
A
just,
was
a little
chilling.
cyberbullying, like, oh, you suck. I'm gonna tell on you, da da da. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, A was kind of slacking off in the original, if I'm being honest. Knowing the potential that A has in this one, the old A, lazy, unmotivated. Do you even hate them? Like,
Not doing enough.
exactly.
I'm fucking
No, but I feel like we still see some parallels to the original, kind of like with
dead.
the Noah and her boyfriend. That's kind of like the Hannah and Caleb of this
Yes,
show.
we stand. I love those
We
two.
we do stand. We like them a lot. What else? What else is kind of similar? There's one I want to say one of them is kind of like the Spencer of the show, but I'm not sure. At first I thought it might be Peeping Tom, but I don't know.
I love how we call her fucking PP Tom instead of her actual fucking name. Yeah, I thought so too. Right now I think maybe not a Spencer per se, but Spencer like
Hmm.
behaviors. I think it was Farron when she's trying to again, spoiler
Oh,
alert.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the new Pretty Little Liars and you don't want anything spoiled, just skip this part of the podcast. But
Yes.
yeah, when Farron was trying to figure out if the so-called quote unquote Karen was actually Karen. Oh no, I'm sorry, Kelly. Kelly?
I think that's right.
Yeah, the so-called Kelly is actually Kelly, or if that's just Karen. And so she starts doing her little like investigative work and shit, trying to put two and two together. It
It's like,
was pretty
"Okay, Sherlock
Spencer-like,
Holmes,"
I'd
like,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, we honestly have only watched, like, 4 episodes, so I don't think we have, like, enough background and context to do, like, a full-fledged review on it just yet, but I
We
would
will
say
for sure do that shit.
we will, and this is a really solid reboot, and, like, I'm actually very impressed because I feel like we've seen reboots in the past just kind of like the Gossip Girl
Like
reboot,
the Gossip Girl one, yeah, yeah.
which I
Also,
found to be
oh, not to cut you off, but I also wanted to say that even if you haven't seen the original Pretty Little Liars, like this shit, like you could just pick it up and enjoy it
yeah.
still, I feel like.
You don't need any knowledge of the old show to
Mhm.
watch the new one or enjoy the new one because I don't know, I think the new one is just really, really great, and how many episodes do we have left, Jen? Like, 4 to
I'd say
6?
about like 6. I think there's 10
Okay.
episodes in a season, and I know they're like I don't know if they're filming season 2 yet, but season 2 has been they got the green light for that. So, honestly, as long as we just get through that first season and then I finish up the OG Pretty Little Liars, we could definitely do an episode on Pretty Little Liars
Yes,
for the
and,
podcast.
speaking of reboots, I kind of just mentioned it, but do you wanna talk about how the new Gossip Girl compares with the old one? By the way,
Yes.
like, before we even, like, get started, this is
Spoilers
what
alert. Oh
well,
yeah,
that
that too,
too,
but
and also, this is just kind of what our, like, weekly FaceTime actual catch-up calls are like,
yeah.
just kind of
Here's the
so
actual catching up
this
part
is the
of catching
catching up
up.
portion of our podcast right now, and we probably should have said that sooner, but yeah, so the new Gossip Girl came out, I wanna say last year?
Last year? I think so, yeah, that sounds about
The
right.
the promo pictures looked so good. I was actually, like, very impressed by like, they were kind of all sitting on the Met steps and wearing, like, their preppy clothes, and I was like, "Okay, this looks promising," and then I watched episode 1, and I haven't gone back since. I was like,
Yeah,
"One is
no,
enough."
that's understandable. Um, I was unemployed for a short period of time and decided to watch the entire first season of the new Gossip Girl. I will say, compared to the old one, it just doesn't hold up, just like
It doesn't
straight up.
hit the
It's
same.
yeah, it doesn't hit the same. However, by itself, and maybe I'm saying this because I did watch the entire season when I was bored and didn't have shit to do. It's not bad. Like it's okay at best. I will say season 2, in my opinion, is a lot better as far as like writing and shit goes. But it's one of those things where it's like, you tell that and it's like, do people really want to sit here through an entire season just to get to like the better shit? But
Yeah.
yeah, I know
You
one of
know
the big complaints was the first episode of Gossip Girl, you kind of know who Gossip Girl is. It's the teachers pretty much. That part of the writing I feel like has improved because in season 2 this teacher who runs Gospel Girl, she goes a little like power crazy, I guess. And she's
mhm.
trying to, like take down all the rich folks and all that shit. And because of that, she's now in some hot water. One of the rich people has put $1 million bounty on the identity of Gossip Girl. So
Ooh,
it's a little more like exciting to be like, oh my God, this bitch about to get caught kind of thing.
right.
So there's that.
So higher stakes.
Mhm, yeah, higher stakes for her. We get to see my complaint about the first season of the new Gossip Girl was that you didn't get enough screen time with the other characters. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but the old Gossip Girl, even though every single character out of that group had their own shit going on, like, I just felt like all of them got their own equal amount of screen time. And for
Yeah,
the first season, I felt like that just wasn't really happening.
okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, we got to see Julian, which is like the new like it girl, Zoya, which is her like stepsister or some shit. Um, and then we got to see a little bit of Audrey, Max, and Aki, which is like the thruple. Um, and then Monet, Luna, and no, I think it was just Monet and Luna. I felt like we barely got anything from them. Luna got a little bit of story towards the end of the season. She got a little like side boo up in whatever like
Ooh,
vacation house that they all decided to go to. But it wasn't enough for me. And I was just like, bro, like literally, I don't know shit about these two characters. And they're
right.
literally, like the main cast. Whereas for this season, we definitely get to see more of the both of them. Monet declares war on Julian. It's a pretty one-sided war, but she
Oh,
declares war on
man.
her and she's like, "Oh, like I'm going to be the new like, queen of Constance, blah blah blah. I'm going to bring back all the shit that, Blair did, which is, just
So they reference Blair?
being a bitch." Yes, they reference like there's a reference to Dan, Blair, Georgina makes an appearance this season. Blair's mom
Nelly
makes an
Yuki, right?
appearance. Yeah, oh yeah, Nellie's in this too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She made an appearance in both seasons. Um but yeah, I also think the I guess character development in season 2 is better as well. So, Monet, not only is she trying to like rule Constance, you see very quickly that her and her mom have some issues with each other. And I'm just like, damn,
Ooh,
like, yeah. So
heavy.
basically, her mom knows that Monet is a shitty person. And
Oh,
she's
no.
kind of like, why are you always trying to, fucking do this bullshit? Da da da. Like, I'm ashamed to call someone like you my daughter, kind of thing. And
That's
I was like,
ouch.
damn, that shit kind of hurt. Like,
Yeah, it hurts me.
exactly. So I was like, okay, so we have more depth, I guess, like to her character. She's not just like, a wannabe like mean bitch.
Yeah.
And then what else? There's a guy named Obi and his family. What do they do? I guess some type of like building infrastructure shit or whatever that they're billionaires off of. And he, I guess, in a way, is kind of like Nate from the old Gossip Girl, where he tries to, I guess, like hold his family accountable for shit. And so his storyline this season is that he finds out that a building that his family's company built in, I don't know, some country, basically it fucking like completely fell apart. And it's because I guess like some safety protocols it didn't meet the criteria, but they decided, fuck it, let's just build it anyways. And he's trying to, hold his mom accountable for this thing. And yeah, so he's trying to do that. He's trying to get his mom arrested, basically. Which
Ooh.
is yeah, a little interesting to
That was
watch.
like what Nate did with his dad in the original, right? Like, that's
Exactly,
what he did.
exactly. And then our thruple, Max, Aki, and Audrey, they they're just having, relationship issues. And I'm like, it'd be like that.
As we all do, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I guess I'd rather see this than Serena for the 50th time be
Oh
like,
my
oh,
god, yeah.
I
I
can't do
gotta
this
go.
anymore. I'm sorry, I gotta go.
So, like,
But
I
yeah.
actually sorry, were you about to say
Oh
anything
no,
more?
no, no. That was pretty much it.
So I have like a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One, I think one of the main reasons why a lot of people weren't impressed with this reboot, kind of like you said, is that it doesn't hit the same way the original does, but I feel like if the original didn't exist, would you still consider this a good show?
I mean, I do like season 2 better than season 1, but I feel like maybe my attention would have just been lost somewhere in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like by
agree
itself, it's
because
eh.
I feel like I wouldn't have hated it as much if the original didn't exist because the original just set the bar so high in
Mhm.
terms of like, iconic characters, the outfits, the locations, everything. And, when this is inspired by that, it's really hard to, I think, recreate something that's
Yeah.
just a different take of something that was once done so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good to hear from you. I mean, not good for the show, but
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know, Gossip Girl's getting canceled. And I was like, "Oh, wow, that's crazy." What's funny
yeah, that's
too is the latest episode, one of the characters, Zoya, at the end, cuz they're like plotting to, try to figure out who Gossip Girl is cuz Gossip Girl is ruining the lives of these teenagers, just like in the original. And Zoya goes, "Let's kill Gossip Girl." And then bro, like I go on Twitter and I see Gossip Girl getting canceled. And I went, "No, like dead
she
ass."
really spoke that into existence.
She
Yeah.
really did.
Oh my God, the meme also we just talked about.
Yes, I'll,
The
I'll insert a picture of the meme right here. But yeah, there's a meme that I found on Twitter of that Gossip Girl meme of Blair just kind of like, hand on the hip smiling. It was that, but it was R.I.P. girl.
Oh.
Oh
Do
man.
you I know I've asked you this before, but I don't know, I don't think I've asked you since you started the new season. I feel like the show is kind of trying to be like woke a little bit in season
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Has that like, does it feel at least a little bit more like natural or genuine?
yes, I'd say so. Some of the wokeness, it's not like bad to be woke, but I guess it was just poorly executed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The
There's
poorly
this one scene in season 1 where I think like Obi cheats on Zoya with Julian and they end up like kissing at like a fucking protest for some shit. And I was like,
is
this
that a
is
protest?
strange. Yeah, it was at
Right.
a protest. The police fucking pulled up, started throwing like tear gas and shit. And I
Oh,
think these two just
no.
run away and they end up like kissing. And I was like, I don't like this. Like, what the fuck? But in season 2, there is this one part of like the wokeness shit that works. So, Julian, one of the main characters, she's a social media influencer. And basically, like, just to put it very shortly, she was at this like pop-up event for this lady, and that lady, I guess, like was being canceled because her like clothing and shit, or word was that they were doing like fast fashion or some shit. The way they make the clothing, it's in sweatshops, so it's very not ethical. And there were
Mhm.
like protesters outside saying like, you fucking suck, da da da, like, fast fashion kills, kind of thing, throwing tomatoes and shit. And I was like, okay, like this is more, it's a lot better executed
Okay.
than the first one. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I don't know. I just watched one episode and I remember being like, this is a lot you guys are piling on in like one whatever 30-40 minute episode. And
Mhm.
yeah, I just wasn't loving it. Didn't feel like super authentic, I guess. So
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't know, but it is important to include that stuff because that is how you make like an impactful change, I guess, when you're trying to reboot something that had like toxic dialogue or,
Very
canceling-worthy
problematic
lines. Yeah.
lines. Yeah, like when Blair fucking told Dorota, "Oh, I need you to do this, or I'm gonna call ICE." And I
Call
was like, "Girl."
immigration. Yeah, I don't even see,
But
stuff like that just would not fly today.
I mean, I feel like it would, but there's just like a certain like audience for it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think also season 2 did a better job of kind of like, I guess like the flow of episodes worked better in my opinion, because I felt like, every other episode there was some, or no, every episode there was some like event or something, like some like rich people thing going on, and this piece of the main cast had this thing going on, this other piece wanted to scheme and just do some shit there, and I felt like it all like tied together very well. Season 1, not
Nice.
gonna lie, I actually don't remember, but I feel like season 2 probably just did it better anyways in
Sometimes it just takes a
that
second
sense.
to like understand what the show, like how it flows and like
Mhm.
what you want it to be, like now that
Yeah.
you have like a little bit of a foundation, so it's understandable. I don't know why it got like I would assume this has like a decent fan base, so I don't know why it got canceled,
Yeah,
especially
I'm not
getting
sure why it got canceled either. Like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, I don't think this is as iconic as the original, but I feel like there should be enough people watching this shit to like,
yeah.
keep this shit afloat. But TV shows and shit get canceled all the fucking time for who knows what. It sucks to see, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But yeah, that
haven't
was
watched enough.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just gonna say I haven't watched enough of that show to contribute any thoughts of my own, but
Yeah, no, it's okay,
riveting to hear
girl.
your opinions.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, if you ever decide to, watch it, let me know, but I understand if you don't want to.
Of course, yeah, no,
Or
I'll
if you
definitely let you
want,
know.
just skip season 1 altogether and
That's what I
start
did
at
with The
season
White
2.
Lotus.
Oh,
Have you
really?
heard of that show?
I've heard of it.
The
I haven't started it. How is it?
Please watch season 2. Skip season 1 and watch season 2. It's so
Okay.
good.
Gotcha. All right, I'll have to add that
We
to
have to
my
do an
watch
episode on
list.
that.
Okay, bet. Have you gotten around to Dollface, or are you
Girl,
still
I
in the
still have not. I think I
Okay.
started watching the first part of the first episode. It's a little like surrealist, right? Like it's not, I can't remember what it was that I watched, but it's like she was she broke up with someone or someone broke with her and then she gets on this train and it's like headed to Singleville or something, like there's like
Yeah.
surrealist
Yeah.
elements like that.
Mhm.
So it's not like fully, you know, grounded in reality, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that took me a second, but you know, if we can watch BoJack Horseman where animals exist in the same land as people and they can talk, I'm pretty
Dollface
sure I
shouldn't
can
be
take
too
Dollface. Yeah.
crazy. Oh, man. Um, Honestly, girl, that was the end of my topic list. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
I don't. I just want to say that I told my parents today this morning, I was like, we're recording our first podcast episode. And they were like,
Really?
yeah, they were like, what? So I mean,
Not
I
they
don't
said
really,
what?
so I don't really have like a wholesome thing to mention, but I was just geeked about doing this for
Man, girl, me
a
fucking
long
too.
time.
Yeah, I'm excited we could finally do this shit. Like, it's nice to see that, I'm really out here doing content creating shit and expanding my, um,
Horizons.
yes, that word. Yeah.
And like Jen has done podcasts before. Like we've done a couple of like podcasts for fun.
Hmm.
And I also want to mention that I used to be so nervous before like any kind of like talking on camera or anything like that. And I
Really?
literally am filming this lying down on my bed. Like that shows you like how comfortable I am with you and I don't know, just the idea of us doing this. So,
We love to see it.
yes, thanks for creating the safe space, girl.
Of course, girl. I got you.
any any
So,
any fun thoughts?
closing thoughts. No, not really. Thank you everyone for tuning into our very first official episode of Catching Up. We appreciate the support. Nathan and I will link our other socials and stuff in the description if you guys want to check that shit out. Other than that, thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys stick around. If not, that's fine. And cheers to 2023.
Thank you guys. Jen, do we want to
Woo!
do our outro? The hand
They're not
thing?
gonna see this, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I can't draw that. But
Okay. Thanks,
bye
Jen. Talk to
guys.
you soon. Bye, guys.